on 103.2 FM.
From Grosvenor to Grimsby
and Frenchwood to Farringdon Park.
It's your community,
your radio, your Preston FM. And that's where you are, your Preston FM, and it's Chat City, Monday through Friday, your weekday morning show, 10 a.m. through to noon, and thank you for being with us. Nightlife across Preston is set to come under review to try to bring more families to the city in the evenings. Council bosses will discuss how to expand what is on offer at night beyond the current drinking culture at a meeting that was held yesterday. Cllr Bhiku Patel, chairman of Preston Council's Community Scrutiny Pannel, is with us in the studio right now, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to Chat City. A very good morning.
Good morning, Hughie. It's nice to be here again.
Nice to meet you. And we've also got Norma with us in the studio. So, because I know Norma also is doing what's on out and about in Preston also as an interest. So the meeting took place yesterday, and what would you like to see the vision for Preston be in the evenings? One of the nice things in May of this year is hopefully we shall have the semi-pedestrianised way of Fishergate complete, so that should be nice. How can we attract families into Preston in an evening?
Well, there has been a lot of money spent in the city centre to improve the area. During the Guild, we had lots of events taking place, and a lot of people came into the city centre. Mm-hmm. We want to continue with encouraging more family-friendly entertainment, different sort of types of use of buildings that we have, and generally remove this perception that people have that, it's a lot of crime, or, people might get mugged or something like that.
Too many drunks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is this image that's been created by the, if I may say, media.
Actually, it's mainly I would say by the media on television. It's always highlighted the bad parts of city life and not so much the positive side. I agree there.
What about, I mean, if you go to most European cities, one of the attractions of being in a city late at night, and maybe with hindsight, I mean, when we started to build out of city centre shopping centres and we then put cinemas outside the city, I think maybe with hindsight, perhaps we could regret that these days, because I think what it did do, to some extent, was cut off the lifeblood of cities. Would there be room for discussion maybe with shops in Preston to see if we could have a kind of continental culture of having shops open in an evening?
Mm. Yes, we are consulting with different organisations and generally with the community. A lot of councillors have their own experience of what's happening in the city centre. So what we're hoping is that people will come with different ideas. The council itself can influence, can have a say in through the planning process. For example, the council has a lot of buildings that they have control over, like the Harris Museum, the Town Hall, etc. And as you say, in other parts of the world, nighttime economy is very lively. A lot of people actually spend more time in that sort of window of 5 p.m. to about 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Where here, people actually come to the city centre during the daytime, but thousands of thousands of
guests
going away. We want to encourage people to remain in the city centre, but have, as I say, children and elderly, feeling safe. Mm. And one of the ways to do this is perhaps to improve the lighting. There are some dark corners in the city centre which we can look at. Policing is actually excellent, and there isn't. We say violence, but there isn't that much violence or crime in the city centre. No. But it's a perception that people have.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to overcome. Yes.
Yes, and also, of course, perhaps in Spain the weather's a wee bit better, and in places in southern Europe. Is there any chance of more indoor space that people go to, like the covered the shopping centres tend to close also, don't they? The covered ones tend to close around 7 o'clock at the weekend. And perhaps if they were open earlier evening, people would get used to using the shops in the early evening, and therefore after that using the restaurants as well.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from now. I'm turning round, because at first, when I first thought about it, I thought, oh, no, it's not going to work. But when I really think about it, yes, we could, because we haven't really tried, have we?
No, I mean, as I said, there are different venues. For example, we have the Minster.
Yes.
A fantastic building, which is now used more than it used to be, but can be used much more for things like concerts, and even have plays, and, we have the theatre, but it's just a bit out of way. We have the university and lots of students there, who can actually, come and enjoy the city centre. But what we want to overcome is this thought that it's just pubs and clubs in the city centre.
And I do agree. I mean, when I talk to friends, particularly friends who live and work in Preston, because Preston is a beautiful city. I mean, if you just walk off the main Fisher Gate, you've got one of the most stunning parks in the country. You've got Avonham Park. You could have a brilliant night out in Preston. It's a beautiful place to be. And when I talk to most people, they do say that they work in Preston, they then go home, and then they couldn't be bothered coming back in the city. And when I say, well, what would keep you in Preston? It is around shops, and it is around cafes and, places where they could go and have something to eat and make the friends and then go off for entertainment. So it does seem to be a big key, does it, maybe around the shops. From the meeting that you had, I think, yesterday, how would you like to take this forward then now?
Well, it'll take some time and get people's views about this, and the businesses also have a say. But we're hoping to come up with some proposals and suggestions which will go to the cabinet. One of the things interestingly suggested was that the council has a lot of parking spaces, but we charge. Obviously, we're trying to make in these times the council is trying to make money as it can, but we need to think about, out of the box, innovative ways of encouraging people. Yeah. And one of the ways may be to reduce or completely make it free parking in the city centre.
That.
Yes, that'd be nice.
I think that's a marvellous idea.
And I forgot what city it was, but during last summer I was in the city in the evening, and what happened there was you park your car, but if you went shopping and you bought anything, you could get your car parking stamped so that you didn't have to pay the fee. So it was a way of attracting you into the city to also go and buy things. And I know if you go over to the Lowry in Salford, if you go to see a play or you buy things in the shopping centre there, you're exempted from paying parking fees. So it seems another nice way of attracting people to go. So they are all the kinds of things I suppose the council are going to be looking at as to how we attract people to stay in the city.
Yeah, we have a fantastic museum, art gallery, and the library. And again, it closes after a certain time. Yeah. And in front of it, obviously, the flag market could be a great venue for lots of different types of activities. Mm-hmm. And again, nothing happens there. It's just used as a parking.
Well, it does
area.
in the summer, but, perhaps you need some sort of shelter there. Yeah. It gives you a lot of hope, though, doesn't it, Hughie?
I just think
fantastic ideas.
I just think it'd be lovely to have people in the city. I just think it'd be lovely to have people staying in the city during the evening, because there's so much to do. So, is consultation with businesses probably now one of the priorities ahead?
That's right. Yeah. We're sort of inviting representatives from the business, from university, talking to the police and magistrates. And, obviously some of the clubs and restaurant owners to see what their views are. And hopefully we can come up with some ideas. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make changes. It's actually getting people to come out to their homes rather than sit at home and watch TV, to come and watch a play, go to the restaurant, go to the museum, more educational, and hopefully widen our horizon.
Yes, I agree. It would certainly be lovely to see. So the process now is consultation with businesses in the area, and then also feedback maybe from members of the public as to what they would like to see.
I would love to hear from members of the public at the council's address or to individual councillors' email addresses to see what they have to say about this. Yeah.
Yes. Do you yourself have a kind of, with your knowledge of Preston, of course you used to be Mayor of Preston, do you have a personal vision of what you would like to see in the city in the evening?
I remember the city centre being very lively and not just the city centre itself, but the wider area where people spend more time, got to know each other much better and more friendly. But we're becoming more and more insular and insecure, I feel. And hopefully we can sort of, because Preston is a nice place. It's a small enough place for people can get to know each other, get to know their local community better. And I hope that, we can encourage more of this kind of community atmosphere rather than the individual feeling.
When are you meeting next? When's your next meeting?
We meet every 6 weeks.
Every 6 weeks?
We're over the next 4 or 5 meetings.
Yeah.
We're hoping to gather information.
Yeah. Would you be willing to come in and give us updates on how things are going?
Oh, certainly, yes.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, I know not on the same scale, but after the brilliant Guild, we know people will come into the city, don't we? We know people will come if there's something here for them to come to, because that was absolutely brilliant, the Guild. Yeah. So thank you for coming in, and that would be nice if we could continue to update our listeners on the plans and get feedback from our listeners as to what they'd like to see here in Preston.
Yeah, and good luck to Preston FM.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been lovely meeting you. Can I thank you? Thank you, Councillor. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed today's interview, why not tweet Hughie at ChatCityPFM.